The USAF units and aircraft of the Korean War are significant because the Korean War was the first shooting war for the newly independent United States Air Force. It was the first time U.S. jet aircraft entered into battle. Air Force F-86 Sabre jets took control of the skies, as American fighter pilots bested Soviet-built MiG-15 fighters in combat against aircraft. Soviet tactics, and, on some occasions, Soviet pilots. World War II-era prop-driven F-51D Mustangs were pressed into the ground air support role, and large formations of B-29 Superfortresses flew for the last time on strategic bombardment missions. The Korean War also saw the first large-scale use of rotary-wing helicopters. The USAF suffered 1,841 battle casualties, of which 1,180 were killed in action. It lost 1,466 aircraft to hostile action or other causes. Overview. Shaped in World War II by an increasing concentration on the strategic role of attacking an enemy's homeland, the Air Force now faced a conflict almost entirely tactical in character and limited as to how and where air power could be applied. The Far East Air Force's 5th Air Force was the command and control organization for USAF forces engaged in combat. Its units were located in Korea and Japan. Fighter and troop carrier wings from Tactical Air Command and Federalized Air National Guard units from the United States deployed to the Far East, and reinforced FEAF units engaged in combat. These tactical units conducted interdiction strikes on supply lines, attacked dams that irrigated North Korea's rice crops, and flew missions in close support of United Nations ground forces. At 6 Mosquitoes, trainers used as airborne controllers, provided communication links between ground troops and supporting aircraft. Although President Truman wasn't willing to risk extensive use of the U.S. bomber force, which was being used as a deterrent for possible Soviet aggression in Europe, a few groups of Strategic Air Command aging B-29 Superfortress bombers that were not part of the nuclear strike force were released for combat over the skies of Korea. Many of these B-29s were war-weary and brought out of 5 years of storage. These bombers wreaked havoc on North Korean military installations, government centers and transportation networks. Like the rest of the American military establishment, the Air Force was in no way prepared for battle at the western rim of the Pacific. Yet despite these limitations, the Air Force responded quickly and effectively, proving in many ways the utility of air power in modern war. With virtually no warning, the Air Force injected itself into the war in the first critical week. It transported troops and equipment from Japan to Korea, evacuated American nationals, provided significant intelligence through aerial reconnaissance, and most importantly helped to slow the North Korean advance so that the United Nations forces could construct a defensive position on the peninsula. Effects. Korea marked the end of the line for major use of prop-driven combat aircraft of the active-duty USAF and brought in the jet age in real terms. All F-82 twin Mustangs had been removed from the theater by 1952, and F-51D Mustang's strength had been cut in Korea from 190 to 65. First-generation straight-winged F-80C Shooting Star and F-84EG Thunderjet jet aircraft were shown inadequate against the Soviet MiG-15s. However, the swept-wing F-86 Sabre took control of the skies, bringing an entire new generation of swept-wing aircraft into the USAF arsenal in the 1950s. The exception to the jet revolution was the specialized use of various counterinsurgency aircraft by the 56th Special Operations Wing, which were flown over Laos during the Vietnam War. With the end of fighting in Korea, President Eisenhower, who had taken office in January 1953, called for a new look at national defense. The result? A greater reliance on nuclear weapons and air power to deter war. His administration chose to invest in the Air Force, especially Strategic Air Command. the nuclear arms race shifted into high gear. The Air Force retired nearly all of its propeller-driven B-29, B-50s, and they were replaced by new Boeing B-47 Stratojet aircraft. By 1955, the Boeing B-52 Stratofortress would be entering the inventory in substantial numbers, as the prop-driven B-36s were phased out of heavy bombardment units rapidly. Organization. During World War II, the group, each with 3 or 4 flying squadrons, was the basic combat element of the Army Air Forces. This organization changed in 1947 when the new United States Air Forces adopted the wing-base plan. Each combat group then active received a controlling parent wing of the same number and nomenclature. The new wing also controlled 3 additional groups with the same number to operate the air base, maintain the aircraft and provide medical care at the base. When combat forces began to fight the war in Korea, the USAF units did so in various organizational forms. In some cases, the combat arm of the wing, plus a portion of the wing's supporting personnel, deployed to the Korean theater, leaving the rest of the wing to operate the home base, to which the group returned after its tour of combat ended. Early in the war, some combat group deployed and operated under other wings, including temporary 4-digit wings. In December 1950, those groups' aligned parent wing moved on paper from their previous bases and replaced the temporary wing in combat. The personnel of the temporary wing's headquarters were reassigned to the headquarters of its replacement. In 1951, the Strategic Air Command began to eliminate its combat group by reducing the group headquarters token strength and attaching the flying squadrons directly to the wing. Therefore, wings replaced the medium bombardment groups attached to Far East Air Forces Bomber Command for combat. The groups were either inactivated or reduced in strength, 1 officer and 1 enlisted. In most cases, the personnel assigned to the group headquarters were simply reassigned to the wing headquarters, which had moved on paper to the location of the headquarters. Most other combat organization in theater continued to operate with both wing and group headquarters or with group headquarters only. In a few cases, individual squadrons, such as the 319th Fighter Interceptor Squadron, were directly controlled by an organization higher than either wing or group level. Aircraft of the Korean War. Fighters types employed Lockheed F-80C-10LO Shooting Star 49-8708 of the 8th Fighter Bomber Group, Korea, 1950. North American F-86F-3ONA Sabres of the 8th Fighter Bomber Group, Korea, 1953. Serial 52-4877 in front in Wing Commander's colors, 52-4473 alongside. North American F-51D-25NT Mustangs of the 67th Fighter Bomber Squadron. Serials 44-84916 and 44-75000 identifiable. 49th FBW Republic F-84E-25RE Thunderjets taking off in Korea. Serial 51-221 in foreground. North American F-86F-25NH Sabres of the 4th FIW over Korea. Serial 52-5346 identifiable. North American F-82G Twin Mustang Serial 46-394 of the 68th FIS in flight over the night skies of Korea. North American F-51D-25NA Mustang Serial 44-73000 in Korea. Fighter units. Source for unit history. 8th Fighter Bomber Wing, 18th Fighter Bomber Wing, 49th Fighter Bomber Wing, 58th Fighter Bomber Wing, 116th Fighter Bomber Wing, 136th Fighter Bomber Wing, 27th Fighter Escort Wing, 4th Fighter Interceptor Wing, 35th Fighter Interceptor Wing, 51st Fighter Interceptor Wing, 319th Fighter Interceptor Squadron. bombers types employed formation of B-29s over the daytime skies of North Korea. 3D bomb wing B-26B invaders during the Korean War. Serial 44-34306 identifiable. Bombardment units Far East Air Forces Far East Air Force Bomber Command 20th Air Force Kadena Air Base Okinawa 19th Bombardment Group 28th Bombardment Squadron 30th Bombardment Squadron 93d Bombardment Squadron inactivated 19th BW assigned to SAC June 1954 Strategic Air Command attached to Far East Air Force Bomber Command 5th Air Force 3D Bombardment Wing 1 March 1950 to 1 March 1955 stationed at Johnson-dab, Japan, 1 April 1950, Jokotab, Japan, 14 August 1950, Iwakuni-ab, Japan, 1 December 1950, Kunsandab, South Korea, the 22nd of August 1951, the 1st of October 1954, 17th Bombardment Wing, the 10th of May 1952 to 16 March 1955, stationed at Busan East Ave, South Korea, the 10th of May 1952 to 10 October 1954, 452d Bombardment Wing, the 15th of November 1950 to 10 May 1952. Attached to 8 Fighter Bomber Wing, 15 to 30 November 1950. Attached to 314th Air Division, 1 December 1950 to 10 May 1952. Stationed at Itazuka-ab, Japan, 26 October 1950, Miho-ab, Japan, 10 December 1950, Busan East Ave, South Korea, 23 May 1951 to 10 May 1952. Source for unit history. 3D Bombardment Wing, 17th Bombardment Wing, 452d Bombardment Wing, 19th Bombardment Wing, medium, 22nd Bombardment Group, medium, 92nd Bombardment Wing, medium, 98th Bombardment Wing, medium, 307th Bombardment Wing, medium. Reconnaissance types employed RF-80A in Korea about 1952, RF-86F over Korea about 1953, RB-45C Tornadoes, RB-29 of the 91st Strategic Reconnaissance Squadron, RB-50K reconnaissance version of the USAF B-50 bomber, Boeing SB-17G of the 5th Rescue Squadron. Formation of 3 91st SRS RB-36s on a PSYOP mission over Korea. Reconnaissance units. Source for unit history. 67th Tactical Reconnaissance Wing, 31st Strategic Reconnaissance Squadron, 91st Strategic Reconnaissance Squadron, 512th Reconnaissance Squadron. Transport types employed: C-47 taking off, C-119 airlifting cargo from Japan to Korea, Curtiss C-46 Commando, C-124 delivering F-84s to Japan, 1952. Transport units. Source for unit history. 61st Troop Carrier Group, 314th Troop Carrier Group, 315th Troop Carrier Group, 317th Troop Carrier Group, 403d Troop Carrier Group, 437th Troop Carrier Group, 483rd Troop Carrier Wing, medium. Tactical Air Control Units. North American at 6th Texan. The Texan trainer found a new life in Korea as a forward air control aircraft. To meet an urgent operational need for close air support of ground forces, the Texans flew Mosquito missions, spotting enemy troops and guns and marking them with smoke rockets for USAF fighter attack. The T-6S of the 6,147th Tactical Control Group performed invaluable work. Units that flew the AT-6 in Korea were 502nd Tactical Control Group, temporary unit composed of 605th Tactical Control Squadron, duration 606th Aircraft Control and Warning Squadron, Duration: 607th Aircraft Control and Warning Squadron. Duration: 608th Aircraft Control and Warning Squadron. The 2nd of November 1951, 6132d Aircraft Control and Warning Squadron. The 9th of October 1950 to 2 November 1951, 1st Shore and Beacon Unit. Attached the 27th of September, the 1st of December 1950 and the 6th of September 1952. Stationed at Busan, South Korea, September, October 1950, Taregу, South Korea, October 1950, Seoul, South Korea, October 1950, July 1953, 6147th Tactical Control Group. Temporary unit composed of 942nd Forward Air Control Squadron, 6148th Tactical Control Squadron, 6149th Tactical Control Squadron, 6150th Tactical Control Squadron stationed at Taregü, South Korea, August, October 1950, Kimpo Ave, South Korea, October 1950, Seoul AFLD, South Korea, October 1950, Pyongyang East ADRM, North Korea, October, November 1950, Taregü Ave, South Korea, November 1950, March 1951, Pyeongtaek ADRM, South Korea. March 1951, April 1952, Chuncheon, South Korea, April 1952, July 1953. Source for unit history. Other units. Source for unit history. Temporary Tactical Support Wings. In July 1950, United States Department of Defense planners did not foresee that the Korean campaign would be of long duration. Consequently, the 5th Air Force modified its command structure only to meet immediate needs. When the time came to move tactical air units to Korean airfields, 5th Air Force did not deploy its permanent wings because they were heavily committed to the air defense of Japan. Instead, it utilized temporary airbase squadrons and airbase units to support tactical units in Korea. By August, the situation called for larger organizations with greater allotments of personnel and equipment, and 5th Air Force set up 5 temporary tactical support wings to support the combat groups formed to assist in the projection of force to Korea. These temporary wings provided facilities, administration, services, and operational control for assigned and attached combat units. The task was formidable. For the installations the wings controlled were usually airbase operations with no amenities and only marginally serviceable airfields. Logistically, poor roads and rail lines, limited port facilities, and overextended airlift hampered the wings. Organizationally, they were without regular status, such as authorization for personnel and equipment or for promotions. Even with these handicaps and hardships, the tactical support wings performed valiantly. They worked hard to make combat airfields operable and to provide the support and control combat units needed. They struggled to keep pace with the dynamically changing battle lines, opening new bases and forward operating locations as needed. Their success bought time for the 5th Air Force to reorganize, and on 1 December 1950, regular wings replaced them. 6002D Tactical Support Wing organized effective 1 August 1950, at Taregü No. 1 AB to support the 18th Fighter Bomber Group, forced to withdraw with its tactical units to Ashia AB, Japan, on 8 August. It returned to Korea on 5 September and advanced to Pyongyang on the 22nd of November. It retreated to Suwon AB on the 30th of November, where it was replaced on 1 December 1950 by the 18th Fighter Bomber Wing. 6131st Tactical Support Wing organized effective 8 August 1950, at Pohang AB, to support the 8th Fighter Bomber Group. The wing moved to Suwon-ab on 7 October and to Kimpo-ab on 28 October. On 25 November, it advanced to Pyongyang-ab, where it was replaced by the 8th Fighter Bomber Wing effective 1 December 1950. 6133D Tactical Support Wing. This wing organized 12 August 1950 at Iwakuni-ab, Japan, to support the 3D Bombardment Group and was replaced by the 3D Bombardment Wing on 1 December. 6149th Tactical Support Wing organized 5 September 1950 at Taregu-ab to support the 49th Fighter Bomber Group. This wing was replaced by the 49th Fighter Bomber Wing effective 1 December. 6150th Tactical Support Wing organized 5 September 1950 at Suiki-ab, Japan, to support the 35th Fighter Interceptor Group. The wing moved to Pohang-ab on 5 October and to Yonpo-ab on 27 November, where it was replaced by the 35th Fighter Interceptor Wing on 1 December. Source for unit history: Far East Air Force Korean Airfields. During the Korean War, the large number of locations used for bases and the similarity of some geographical names prompted the Air Force to use alphanumeric identifiers for bases in addition to their proper designations. Under this system, each base in Korea received a K number, simplifying positive identification when referring to the various bases. These are the known bases that the U.S. Far East Air Forces operated during the Korean War.